We're going to continue the assembly of our automata by adding parts to our box, such as bushings and an axle, and then we'll attach other parts in later videos. If we look at your assignment in Google Classroom, you'll see that that's what your job is. There are two URLs here of images of automata assemblies. Here are parts that you'll be adding to your automata. So again, you need to click on them, download them into your laptop, and then upload them into Onshape. All right, so here are some images of finished automatas. You'll see that there are figures riding on the top. They are riding on followers, which are riding on cams, which sit on an axle, and the axle is turned by a handle. You may not have a handle such as this ship's wheel. You may have a handle that looks more like this. But similarly, we have figures on top of followers. There are bushings. Your bushings will not look like this. The followers reside or sit on cams, and the cams sit on an axle, and the handle turns the axle. All right, so let's look. This is where you should start with your assembled box in Onshape. Then, if everything is inserted, has been uploaded into Onshape, you click on Insert up here in the upper left-hand corner. You click on Other Documents. My Onshape is where all your files will be. My files are all in the Automata folder. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to put a bushing that turns here on the left-hand side that will turn with the axle, and then we'll put a bushing that is locked on the other side, and then we'll put the axle between them. Okay, so I click on the object I want to enter, in this case the bushing that turns. I click on the image of it again, and it puts it over here. And I click where I want it. If I click on the check mark to finish the insertion, and then click on the object itself, it allows me to now rotate it into the direction that I want it. So I start to rotate in that direction, choosing that axis, and then I type in the exact degrees that I want to rotate, in this case 90 degrees, and I click away. Okay, now you can see that's oriented to go into the hole. So to do this, we are going to come up here and choose a mate. We're going to choose the Revolute mate, the second one over. And then we're going to tell it where to mate on this box. So we click near the circle, or we hover near the circle, hit the Shift key, and then click in the center of that circle that they give us. And again, that circle should be in the plane that we want it to be in. Okay, now I want the other side of this. So I'm going to rotate this and then zoom in, pan over with a Control mouse, right mouse button. Okay, now I want this surface to mate against the wood. So I do hover over that, press the Shift key so I don't lose this nice circle here in this plane. Click on the center of the circle. If I click on the check mark, the insertion is finished. I always click on the wrong corner. And you'll see that now we've inserted that bushing into that hole. Okay, we're going to do the same thing on the other side, so let's revolve over to that side. Okay, we're going to insert a part here in the upper left-hand corner, Other Documents, My Onshape, Automata. In this case, we're going to put a locked bushing. So I click on it, I again click on the image, it then puts it here somewhere I would like it. I click where I would like it. Then I click on the check mark to finish the insertion. Then I come back and I actually click on the part so that I can rotate it into position. I type in the exact rotation angle I want, 90 degrees, and click away. Okay, so now I'm going to be inserting this into this. You can see this is a round hole in contrast to the square hole here. So in this case, the axle will rotate with the bushing. In this case, the axle will rotate within the bushing. All right, so now I'm going to mate these two. Again, I'm going to mate these two with a fasten mate. I do not need it to rotate. So first I find the one component that I want to mate on, so I hover near the circle, hit the Shift key, click on the center of that circle that's in the plane that I want it to be in. I now rotate the wrong direction. Now again, it's this surface that I want, so I need to get on that surface. So once I'm on that surface, then I hit the Shift key, and now I can move my mouse over to the center of the circle that I want. I click on the check mark to finish. And you can see that I've inserted that into that hole. All right, wonderful. So now I'm going to insert the axle. So again, I click on Insert. I go to Other Documents. Click on My Onshape. I click on the automata for the folder that I'm in. I go and find the axle. Here it is. I click on it. I then click on the image of the axle. And it looks to be in the orientation that I would like it in. So I just click on the check mark to finish the insertion. And now let's insert it. Okay, so this is going to be a fasten mate, this one here. I click on it now. I try to get that circle. There it is. The circle's in the plane that I want it to be in. It's in that face at the end of the axle. I hit the Shift key, find the center of the circle, click. Now let's pan over so I can find where to mate in this one. I click on that surface that that circle that I want to mate to. Make sure I have the Shift. So what I'm doing here is I'm making sure that I'm in the circle that I want to be in, that circular face on the outside. Then I hit the Shift key, then I move to the center of the circle, hit click. Okay, that did not work. So let's do it again. Let's try the fasten mate. I click on that. I find this surface, hit the Shift key. There, now I'm able to click on the center of that circle. Now we're going to go over and find the end of this axle, that face. When I have my mouse in the right position so I see that circle in the right plane, the plane that is the face at the end of the axle, then I'm going to choose it. So now I have the circle in the right direction. I hit the Shift key. Okay, I'm not there yet. Okay, now I have it. So I hit the Shift key, I find the center of the circle, and I hit click. Then I click on the check mark. And you can see that the axle is now in this bushing. And in fact, if I grab this bushing and turn it, the axle turns with it. And we can look at it from this side. And you can see that the axle sticks out here where I can put a handle on it. Thank you for listening. The next video will add more components to the box.